Alright, howdy there folks, it is I again, Brandon Wenzel, your guide into martial arts films. Why am I your guide into martial arts films? Because you're bored and probably dicking around on YouTube, or maybe you're one of my Facebook friends and you were nice enough to actually check my thing. But, aside from that, why might you be watching this? Because, damn it, I know Kung Fu. Which is the title of this film series that I'm doing, this little video thing that I'm doing. So, something fell on the ground. I'll be right back. I told you. If that had been anything else, I would have just said to hell with it, but I actually need this. So, my apologies. Anyway, little thing about the title. The title of the film's I Know Kung Fu. I just wanted to bring this up real quick. If you're looking for them, the title is I Know Kung Fu, ... question mark. Question mark. That's not a good question mark. I can't make a good question mark with my fingers today. Or ever. So. But that's the tentative title of these films here for my little review thing that I'm doing. So, that might help you find them. I don't think it will. I know I looked it up. It's I Know Kung Fu, and of course it's just Keanu Reeves. Just page after page after page of Keanu Reeves. But he deserves it. He came up with the line, damn it, so I'm just borrowing it. Anyway, so that's my little thing about that. The other thing I did want to bring up is that I've actually got some views on the videos. Yay! Views on the videos! And I've even got a couple of subscribers. How cool is that, right? And only one of them is my friend Dan, and I don't know who the other one is. So, that's cool, because I got Dan and some dude I don't know. That's pretty badass, I guess, you know. Which, by the way, let me say fuck you to all my friends who didn't subscribe. You know, I have friends in real life who aren't Dan. Where the hell are you guys? But anyway, so, yeah, how cool is that, right? Because I'm over here, I'm doing this whole thing. I'm coming to you, by the way, from my fabulous upstairs with daylight included, in my Kung Fu outfit. Yeah. Kung Fu outfit. They don't give this to just anybody. You know what this means? This means I had $40 to spend. That's what that means. For my Kung Fu outfit. And my Megaran t-shirt. By the way, I just want to give a little shout out to Megaran. Because, yeah, this is about Kung Fu films, but it's also about things I like, and fuck it, I like Megaran. So look up Megaran, he's a nerd rapper, he's amazing. And a hell of a nice guy. Met him a couple times in person. Anyway. So, yeah. That's that whole little thing. So, I'm doing this video, right? What's this video about today? Well, if you saw my last one, you'd already know. But, if you didn't, just in case you didn't, alright. One day you know what? One day I'm just not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna start talking about shit and you're just gonna be confused because you weren't paying attention. But anyway, because I'm feeling generous today, boom! Sworn to Justice with Cynthia Rothrock. Why was Cynthia Rothrock? Well, because I'm doing a Cynthia Rothrock marathon. Why am I doing a Cynthia Rothrock marathon? Because it's Cynthia Rothrock's birthday was this month. Why was it Cynthia Rothrock's birthday this month? Because some point in the past, Cynthia Rothrock's mother and father apparently got together and did some nasty stuff, and boom! She was born and happened to be in this month. And so, that's everything that led up to this. The end. Oh, if I just ended it right there. But, I'm not. You're gonna have to suffer through it. Because for whatever reason, you're watching this stupid crap that I do. If you are watching this stupid crap that I do. Because you might be my friend Dan, or you might be some guy who I don't know. And if you're some guy I don't know, keep your pants on, buddy. I don't need that shit on my end. You know what? If you want to, take your pants off. I don't even care if you watch my videos with no pants on. For all you folks know, I'm not wearing any pants right now. I am, though, damn it. I specifically put on pants to do this video because I'm cool like that. But, Cynthia Rothrock Marathon, eh? Indeed. And if you watch any of my other ones, then you know that I do little Cynthia Rothrock facts at the beginning of these, because Cynthia Rothrock is amazing, and you need to know more about her, because if you ever meet her in real life, she might show up and be like, name 10 Cynthia Rothrock facts, or I'll kick your ass all over the place. I don't think she would do that, but she might. Possible eventuality. And if that's the case, then you'll be thinking back, well, god damn it. I guess I'm glad I watched that stupid guy, with the crazy hair and Mega Ran shirt and $40 Kung Fu jacket. I guess I'm glad I watched his stuff. So, Cynthia Rothrock fact for today. Let's get the kids at home to help us out. Hey, kids at home! What's the question I told you to say before we got started? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, shut up. Just do the question. You don't need to get excited. You're not real. You're in fact... I'm gesturing to the table that the tablet is sitting on, you idiots, so get to it. Don't tell your parents I said that. They'll sue me. The question is... What city is Cynthia Rothrock from? Yay! Yay! Get out of here, you little bastards. So that's the actual question, and I'm going to tell you the answer. I'm not even going to wait for the kids to show up, because I don't care about them. The question for the day, being what I just said, why is that relevant? I'm going to go into that real quick. Well, okay, because if you haven't been living under a rock for the last, 6-7 years, something like that, maybe longer, or you're from Spokane, I guess. Poor Spokane. They're probably very nice. I've never been there. But I kind of imagine, dragons and no electricity and shit when I think of Spokane. Oh, poor Spokane. Anyway, Spokane aside, dragons aside, Cynthia Rothrock not aside, right here, right now. You might be familiar with the show, the long-running show, the American version, the show The Office. Now, where did The Office take place in? Well, it took place in a place called Scranton, Pennsylvania. Why is that significant? Well, if you're not a fucking moron, you probably put 2 and 2 together on this one. Yes, Cynthia Rothrock is actually from Scranton, Pennsylvania. The location where, The Office was supposed to take place. I don't know if it actually did, if they filmed there or not, but that's where it was. And of course, that's kind of a cool little fun fact, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. And then on top of that, you have to kind of wonder, how did these things never occur? How is there never an episode... Ooh, the mail's here. Yay, mail. Maybe I've got some more movies coming. Anyway. Hi, mailman. My mailman's a dick, by the way. Just because. Anyway. So, cool thing is... if you, like I said, I just started thinking about it. I'm like, how is there never an episode where, Cynthia Rothrock, an episode... Did nobody think to look this stuff up? Was there no fact checkers? Interesting facts about Scranton, Pennsylvania. It was founded by a guy named Bill on a Friday in 1847, and his brother Bill, and their cousin Bill. They wanted to call it Billstown, but nobody else seemed to like that. They said, to hell with you, we're calling it Billstown, and they were run out of town by a guy named Joe Scranton, who called it Scranton. And then Cynthia Rothrock was born, and then they went over there and filmed the thing with The Office. That's pretty much the history of fucking Scranton, Pennsylvania, as far as I'm concerned. Because again, never been to Scranton, Pennsylvania, but again, dragons, no electricity, that's what I'm kind of envisioning. But... that's where she's from. And I mean, hell, you had Dwight on there who was obsessed with martial arts. Did nobody think to themselves while they were filming the, hey, I wonder if there's a famous badass martial arts chick who also does films, or maybe we could have her in an episode. Maybe she could kick Dwight in the head or something like that. That occurred to no one. Fact checker guy did an awful job. He should be ashamed of himself. If you know him, you should stone him. Not enough stoning going around these days. I like good stoning every once in a while. Keeps people in check. And said, oh, well, we'll give him a ticket because he parked like a douchebag. No, the next time somebody parks like a douchebag, stone them. See if they ever do it again. Anyway, since I've spent 10 minutes blathering out about that, and some of it was about Cynthia Rothrock, so go to hell. Anyway, sworn to justice. So, here's a little synopsis for you. Yay, synopsis! Synopsis. Cynthia Rothrock in this film that is on my knee right now. She stars as this chick whose name I'm not going to bother with because I'm just going to keep referring to her as Cynthia Rothrock. So, anyway, she stars as this chick. Let's call her Cynthia Rothrock. Yeah, I like that too. All of her, she should just be Cynthia Rothrock in every film she does, really. But she stars as this chick who, she's a psychologist who works as a consultant for a law firm, you know. Whenever they need an expert witness who happens to be a psychologist, they call her up. Alright, good start. There you go. But she comes home one day, right? And she's over there, it's all dark and shit, and the lights aren't turning on. She gets over there. What does she find on the ground? Spilt milk? Nope, dead nephew. Oh no! That's pretty terrible to come home to, isn't it? You know, who wants to come home to a dead nephew? That's pretty bad. You know, maybe your nephew's a dick, you know, then I guess maybe you're okay with it. But, I don't know. He didn't seem like a dick for all of the 0 minutes that he was alive in the film. He played a perfectly viable corpse. He seemed like a very nice corpse. So I doubt he was a dick. But anyway, he's dead. And, oh wait, broken glass on top of spilled milk. Her sister's dead too. Oh wait, no she's not. She's just kinda dying. But she's definitely gonna be dead. And so, in the process of dying, a bunch of goons show up. Not a bunch, but like 3 or 4. They show up, and of course, they're gonna go over there and try to kill Cynthia Rothrock. She came home early. So they're gonna go do that. Okay, cool. Good times. Thus far, pretty standard affair. Right? Right. So she kicks the shit out of some of them, but one cheap bastard goes over there and pulls a gun because his penis is this fucking big. And so she runs away. This next part here is where things go a little wacky. Because she ends up running off onto a balcony, and for reasons I cannot understand, she apparently decided that leaping from like the balcony of a 3rd-story building onto a cliffside, effectively, was somehow safer than going over there and, you know, dealing with a guy with a gun. Funny thing about a guy with a gun. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a better option, by all means. But here's the funny thing about the guy with the gun versus the cliff scenario. The guy with a gun, he might run out of bullets. The cliffside, never gonna run out of cliffside. At least not anytime soon. The sun might eventually explode, the earth might eventually erode away, but that cliffside's got a good time going for it. Guy with the gun, he's probably got like 12 bullets. You know, I'm just saying. Anyway, so she leaps and she falls and she smacks her head. Ow. That hurt my tooth! How did I hurt my tooth? It's kung fu. That's how I hurt my tooth. Anyway, she smacks her head. Despite the fact that throughout the course of the rest of the film, no scarring, no lump, but she smacks her head. And not only does she end up, you know, coming out of this looking pretty damn bad, looking pretty good as it were, but she actually comes out even more badass than before, because apparently smacking your head on a tree when you make a dumb decision gives you psychic powers. Am I lying? No, I'm not lying. I'm actually dead shit serious. This film, Sworn to Justice, asks the question, why can't you have a martial arts film without some psychic shit involved? Reasons! Oh, man. Don't get me wrong, this is a fun movie. I mean, it's actually not too bad. Like, the story's actually not terrible or anything like that. And the psychic element's actually quite a bit of fun, but boy oh boy did you have to string some stuff together to make this work. You might have even had to have had a rather eclectic cast of characters played by famous actors. What famous actors would those be? Well, just off the top of my head, if I were just wagering a guess of how I would string this shit together, well, let's see, you might need the guy who played Chekhov on Star Trek to go over there and play a psychiatrist who was, like, previously, her teacher or something. Like, you might need something like that. You might need Mako, the guy who voiced Aku and, was in, the late, great Mako. You might need him in there to play, like, a blind guy who goes over there and deals out wisdom and candy bars. You might need him. You might need, Brad Dourif, the guy who voiced Chucky. You might need him, too, just to play a little bit role where he's a guy and he's a sleazebag. You might need him, too. And oh, wait, yeah, they're all in there. So, yeah, they're all in there. Which makes I love the cast for this. It's just badass. So anyway, psychic powers, she's able to go over there and touch items, right? I'm touching this. And if you've seen the movie 13 Ghosts with Matthew Lillard, the 2000-something version, I think, not the original one, then you already know what the hell I'm talking about. She has the ability to touch items, she can see memories of the item and the people who touched it and shit like that. She uses this to become a modern-day vigilante, to go over there and track down the bastards who, whatever there, and killed her sister, and, and her nephew, who... I almost wonder, I mean, she was definitely killed by them. But you never see the little kid get killed, because you never see a little kid, I should emphasize that. You just see something, that looks, like it's dressed in pajamas, who I think was probably a fully grown man, in all honesty. But, maybe the mom killed the kid. Maybe she was just a terrible mother. Maybe, in fact, the goons showed up and that's why they killed her. They were going to rob the place anyway, but then they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with this crazy bitch? So they decided to kill her. But that's in Sworn to Justice 2, whenever they make that film. I'll go into that. Anyway... In the meantime, she has a romantic liaison with a guy who, I don't even know. There's really no point in going into what the hell he does in the film. But she runs into him. He's played by a guy named Kirk McKinley. Or Kirk McKinney. My apologies to Mr. Kirk McKinney. Mr. Kirk McKinney, who actually is a bit of a martial arts badass himself. He was in a film called... No Retreat, No Surrender with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which, by the way, Cynthia Rothrock is in the sequel, which I don't own, so I can't go over there and do that one for you. But she's in that, in that whole thing. So he's in this, and he gets to kick some martial arts ass. That's pretty cool, right? And he was on soap operas and stuff. It's weird how many martial arts guys came from soap operas. Lorenzo Lamas, Brian Genesee. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, you don't ever think about the fact that, like, you could storm onto a, Days of Our Lives set or something and get your ass kicked by one of the people there, but you might. Anyway, so, she's over there and, she has to go track him down. She becomes this modern-day vigilante. There's this whole thing with the DA and stuff, and, they're trying to track her down. And then on top of that, there's this cop who's always, kind of tracking her around and stuff like that. So... of course, because, that in and of itself wouldn't be enough of a film. Of course, it turns out that it wasn't just, like, 3 guys and, Brad Dourif. It turns out, of course, that, it's this whole organization. And, they're these guys, and they're, over there with Ken Scott, and, plays Eugene, who's awesome, by the way. Didn't do enough roles, in my opinion, but... it is what it is. I did want to bring up one little scene with Ken Scott playing Eugene. He has this moment in the movie where he goes over there and he shakes down this chop shop owner, right? And I don't think that this part really needed to be in the movie, but it's kind of cool because, Ken Scott's cool as Eugene, but the cool thing is that the guy he's shaking down is a guy named Ian Jacklin. And again, I do have my little cheat sheet here, because, so like I said, just some of these names I just don't know off the top of my head, but I do know Ian Jacklin from other films, because the guy's been in a whole bunch of other stuff. He was kind of like a weird little staple, I don't want to say weird, but, he was kind of a staple of these kind of B-movie martial arts films of this period. He did a bunch of some movies with Don the Dragon Wilson and Gary Daniels, and Hell, even Cynthia Rothrock. And he was like a kickboxing champion, and now he's like an independent filmmaker. And he's, I just wanted to bring up a real quick thing, to kind of plug him, that he's doing this whole thing for, natural remedies to help cure cancer and stuff like that. So good times, good for him. But he plays this guy, and he really is just there to get the shit kicked out of him. May, in fact, have been the worst use ever of Ian McKinney, but that's cool that he was in there, Anyway, that's my little thing for Ian McKinney. Also, Art Camacho, who's he's a guy, not so much an actor, but sometimes, but he directed stuff, and he's another guy who was part of this whole thing. He's one of the action choreographers, and he also plays one of the villains briefly in it. So that's kind of an overview of some of the people who are in it. But she goes from Cynthia Rothrock's character. She goes from place to place to place, kicking ass and beating the hell out of these guys. In the meantime, Kurt McKinney. Kirk McKinney's over there. Oh, I think I got whatever. Anyway, you know who the hell I'm talking about. In any case, Kurt McKinney's over there. Kurt McKinney's character. He's all Zen, Buddhist stuff and all that stuff. And he's trying to get her kind of on the right path. But she won't have any of it. And she's just going to do whatever the hell she wants anyway. So, that's what she does. And, there's some love scenes and there's some stuff and everything. And that's, that's that whole thing. In any case, it turns out that Eugene's this guy, and he's got a brother. The brother gets blown up. Eugene's pissed. He goes over there and proceeds to blow up Cynthia Rothrock's friend accidentally. There's a kind of strange moment of, pronounced lesbian, admission there by Cynthia Rothrock's friend to her, which is just a very odd little throw-in. I have no problem with it whatsoever. It's not a terrible thing to think about, to be honest with you. But, just a weird little thing that they just throw in for, seemingly no reason other than to just, I guess for some reason, because hell, I'm talking about it. So, anyway, she goes over there, she gets to the base with, Kurt McKinney. They show up and they proceed to kick some ass, and Eugene's over there. One of the scenes that I love is that Kurt McKinney, whose brother blew up, who I love. It turns out, by the way, that the cop who was it of course turns out he's crooked. Really? Yes, he's crooked. He's a douchebag. Anyway, he has the best statement ever in regards to his brother who's dead. Despite the fact the guy's been roasted roasted to a crisp, Eugene proceeds to go over there, Ken Scott proceeds to go over there and put a wig on the guy and basically weekend Bernie's him a bit. So you can keep talking to him and stuff, which I guess is supposed to be creepy, but just can't do anything else but come off as just hysterical. I get a giant kick out of that. That's one of the things I remember this movie for. But the cop goes over there and brings up the fact that, you know what? I don't even care that your brother died. He was too dumb to live. And yeah, pretty much. But Eugene's got his crew. There's a dude with an eye patch, and Art Camacho, and the guy who is too dumb to live. And they're doing, and Cynthia Rothrock comes in with Kurt McKinney, and they start kicking some ass. And there you go. There you go. That's the synopsis for the film. Is there anything in between that really matters? No, not really. That's the synopsis for the film. So anyway, my review for the film. Some of the good things about the film. I'm going to do a good and bad thing. It's going to be part of my format from now on, hopefully, if I remember. Some of the good things about the film. Okay, fair enough. Bizarre but interesting premise for a B martial arts movie. It makes it memorable. I gotta give it credit for that. It's, like I said, it's the only one I know of where, you get psychic powers, where it isn't, something, magical, like a period piece or something. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Like I said, it sticks in your head. The cast, Kurt McKinney and, Mako and, all these guys. Excuse me. All these guys. Great cast, really. Even if maybe not used in the most effective path, come on. It's just fun to have a cool cast. I like that about the film. The action's pretty damn badass in this. It's not the best ever or anything like that, but it's pretty cool. You get some cool improvised weapons thing. Cynthia Rothrock uses some duct tape at one point in time, and another guy goes over there and uses some jumper cables, which is pretty cool. But they specifically actually tried. They brought in a guy from Hong Kong to have more of a Hong Kong feel to the fighting in it. And it shows. It really does. It's actually one of the better ones. When it gets down to it, it's actually one of the better kind of American-made B-movie martial arts films as far as the action's concerned. It doesn't quite come off as the full Hong Kong style, but it comes close. And the action choreographers did a fine job. And they got talented martial artists to do the thing. You got Eugene, who's, martial artist, and Kurt McKinney, and, Ian Jackinson, or Jacqueline, who played Pete. Oh, man, I'm just wrecking that guy. I should have wrote that clear on my thing. I apologize. Anyway. So that, you've got that. Oh, wait, what else is amazing about this movie? Let me think. If you're familiar with this movie, then you probably know where I'm going to go. I'm going to try to be at least somewhat discreet about this and not come off as a complete pervert. But let's just say that if you appreciate Cynthia Rothrock for more than just her martial arts skills, then this is the movie for you. This movie really, I want to be serious, but then I get imagery in my head and my brain derails. In fact, the hell over there right now, out in the woods by my house. Doing terrible things. Unspeakable things. Anyway, this really was pretty much the first movie of Cynthia Rothrock to really kind of showcase her not only as a badass martial artist, but as a female badass martial artist. What's the best way to do that? Well, you gotta sexy her up. And it's not like she, the thing is, it's not that she wasn't sexy, but the problem was, of course, I keep trying to do 20-minute movies. Anyway, in most of her films, she was kind of portrayed as a tomboy, and so, in this one, she's thoroughly not a tomboy. If you don't get that she's a lady in this, then, you're from some other fucking planet, because, it's rather nice. Let's just say that. I'm not gonna lie, I've watched this more than once for not the reasons that, are generally associated with watching martial arts films. Oh, I feel terrible about saying that. But I hope come on, come on. That's why it's in the movie, right? I'm not wrong for that. Anyway, so that's the good. That is in fact the very, very good. What's the bad? Alright, the bad. I don't know. The premise is interesting, but it's also kind of goofy. So you have to take that with that. It makes it memorable, but it's also goofy. Which is kind of, again, it's fun. And I don't know, what else? You know what? Truthfully, I'm not going to say there's too much that's bad about the film as far as, any specific foibles or anything that a lot of these B-movie films, kind of fall into. It's the production value's decent. It's got some goofy moments, with the corpse, the Kentucky Fried Brother who's too dumb to live. But the rest of the time, I don't know. It's actually, it's a fun little B-movie, starring Cynthia Rothrock in a lot of sexy outfits and, with Eugene and people whose names I keep messing up, like Kurt McKinney and Chekhov. I don't know, Walter Koenig. That's his actual name. I just keep calling him Chekhov. I'm a Star Trek fan, so he's Chekhov. Anyway. Oh, I gotta try to be a little bit more professional with these. Just a little bit. Anyway. I don't do drugs. Can you believe that? I do not do drugs. Seriously. No lie. Ask anybody who knows me. I do not do drugs. I completely give off that vibe, though, don't I? That'd be so great if I did drugs. I could just explain so much of my life away on drugs. Why don't you have a better job, Brandon? Well, I do drugs. Why don't you have a better car, Brandon? Well, because I do drugs. So on and so forth. Anyway. So yeah, that's what the movie's about. It's pretty damn cool for what it is. It's, again, it's not, her best film or anything like that, but as far as her American films are concerned, it's actually probably one of her better ones. The action's actually pretty badass. It's got some funny moments, a little bit here and there. The story's interesting, and it's all in good fun. And if you want to see Cynthia Rothrock go over there and run around in a thong and a see-through bra, well, this is the movie for you. I don't think she's done it in any other film, so this is it. This is your one shot. And as far as this edition's concerned, this one, I don't know about any other editions because this is the one that I own. It's even got some cool stuff. It's got some biography stuff. It's got a little behind-the-scenes featurette. So pick this one up if you want to. And like I said, I don't know if you own one of the other copies of this. Maybe you can tell me about it. Maybe it has other special features this one doesn't. So, where does it stand? Where does Sworn to Justice stand on the eternal scale of martial arts awesomeness, with the bottom of the scale being forever Ninja Revenge? Okay? It's so far down. It's so far down. I don't even have an analogy for how far down it is. It has reached the point where I cannot reach it with analogies. That's how far down it is at this point. But it's really far down. What's 10? Alright, what's 10? Analogy for 10. Analogy for 10 would be like if Kurt McKinney and Ian Jacklin, who played Pete, were here doing this review with me, and they, were over there actually able to be like, well, actually, my name is Kurt McKinney, and my name is Ian Jacklin. And that's how you pronounce those names. That's 10. Where does it stand on the scale? Okay, fair enough. I'm sorry, my brain just went to a happy place with this movie again. Because I'm thinking about the good things of the movie, and that's where it went. So anyway, in light of Myth Rothrock's wardrobe choice in this, as well as the cast and everything, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a solid 7. I'm actually putting it above Yes Madam, because you know what? Yes Madam's fun, but really only for the final fight. This movie's fun all the way through. And it's got what I already told you it's got. And God bless her for it. I swear to God. Just God bless her for it. Anyway, so that's my review for this. Like I said in my last review, I'm not going to go over there and say what my next one is, because that's just going to take up too much time. This is already almost 33 minutes. I keep trying so hard to make these like 20-minute videos. And come off as terribly unprofessional. Terribly unprofessional. I'm an awful person. Anyway, that's my review. So, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. You know why? Here's why. Because it's hard to kill the Iron Monkey, even with blades of blood, being used by the South Shaolin Master. Parts 1 and 2. Because at the end of the day, folks, I am Brandon Wenzel, and I review martial arts films because I, Wing Chun pose, no Kung Fu. Have a good one, folks.